boogie board skydiving, one of the most progressive sports around. This film is brought to you by me and a few of my close friends in showing you some of the most progressive, happening Wiggly sports around. Next up, we'll have Mr. Pat Lawler to tell you just about what Wiggly means. Pat Lawler, Pat, it's good to have you here today.
Dude, I'm stoked. Wow, I'm just so glad, that you're doing this whole movie. I think it's going to be so bitchin' that you're getting it together to do neat things, and I think it's just so important for other people to see how rad others get, and there's all different ways to get rad. I think that's what this video really points out, whether it be up in the sky or, at sea level. I'm very, very, very stoked, let me tell you. And the point is also, getting rad, you don't have to, there's many different ways. You don't have to look like a rad dude to get rad, as you know. This dude looks so, like a nice guy. And he is. But I think, mainly, there's all different kinds of ways to get rad. Getting rad and wiggly, as Bill said, is just a way of expressing energy and creative forms, I think. It's kind of hard to explain. But I've just been real happy to see as much as I've seen of people getting rad, I think probably one of the most wiggliest things is going up in a darn airplane, I think that's really insane. And I think, what else? You have a few things planned, of people going off, and it's really important, for people to understand how rad you can become. It just really shows your mind control.
Yeah. Pat, would you mind telling us, a lot of the world doesn't know exactly what we mean by wiggly. Sure, there's rad, all right, but what you mean by wiggly?
Okay, well,
I came to understand this term a while ago, and ever since then I've been trying to achieve this
wiggleness.
Well, spoke of.
That's very cool. Well, I think you deciding to, have this right here in Carmel. See, the deck that we're on right now, a lot of rad stuff has gone on. Just to the right here is a jacuzzi that a lot of fun with guys, a lot of fun with girls. We've done. However, as you meant about getting wiggly, that term just started about by just kind of letting go of yourself, when, you're just straight, you're just taking care of business, you're doing what people tell you, you're doing what you're supposed to do, and getting wiggly is just like, like doing something that you just gotta let your energy out and show others, or just show, yourself how to do it. You know what I mean? Just, like, there's one guy we called the Wiggly Man. And he was wiggly because he'd jump around and he'd drive a car like he was an absolute maniac. But like I say, being a maniac doesn't, you don't have to be a maniac to be wiggle, or you don't have to be a maniac to, be rad.
How about Lance Luffles? He's been deemed the king of wiggly.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about Lance? We heard he likes to get a little bit out of hand. Now, as I understand it, wiggly is just going a little bit overboard.
Yes. Well, Lance, good old Lance, but he was one of those hyperactive child,
Mm-hmm.
Problem child, rebellious in his adolescence, and and he expresses mainly in cars, small black Fords. And he would build these things. He would pump them up. His older brother helped him build these cars that, could go, 150 miles an hour. And he was only 15 when he started building these things. So, of course, I myself was one of his good friends. And, I've been in several wrecks with him. And Lance now, ever since, there's a point, I think, of getting wiggly and of learning how to, get back to reality, I think that was one big deal of his, because, it happens to guys sometimes when they get so rad, continually getting rad, And before he didn't even know what was reality was or what he was supposed to not be doing. And he got into a really bad wreck, you know. But now he's mellowed out in a way, you know.
Well, thanks a lot. We'll be seeing you a little bit later on in the film doing various things that we enjoy doing.